My name is Jessica, and welcome to Teaching Improv to Children and Teens. Today's focus is on your classy curricula. That's right. In order to do a good class, it's important that you have a good curricula. It's totally possible to just do a set list, write down a bunch of games, and have the kids play them. The problem with that is that you're not building anything. You want a class where the kids come in and they are kind of molded to where they learn all of the things that you're trying to teach them easily that day. And then by the end of it, they're able to perform in a way that really shows off the skill that you have taught them. I do that with 4 different steps. I start with bonding and name games. Even if the class already knows each other fairly well, bonding games will help bring them all back together, make them a class together, make sure there's some good cohesion. If they don't know each other super well, name games are fantastic because then that way they know each other's names, which are very helpful. Also, you know their names, which is very helpful. After name games, I like to go to warm-ups. Warm-ups are where you're getting loose, where you're having fun, where you're really building the energy for the day and getting them ready to focus on the skill that you're teaching. Finally comes the exercise. The exercise is like the meat of this class. The exercise is where you're teaching them the core skill that you're wanting them to learn for that day. And finally, you have the performance game. The performance game is where they get to show off. It's the super fun part of class where they shine as performers at the end of the class because they have learned this new skill. And hopefully when they do the performance, they will see how the skill that they're learning makes them look awesome at the end. Let's break it down a little bit. Bonding and name games. The main goal that you want here is, like I said before, class cohesion. You want your kids to be together and working well together. So really good things like for this are games where they're learning each other's names or games where they're connecting. So the one that I taught in the last video, Pass the Clap, is a great bonding game because it makes everybody make eye contact. It makes them get together. That helps them. Chanting games are really good for this. One of my favorite name games is called Shootout. I have made it a little bit less violent because I don't like violence. So what happens is you'll have the children in a circle, in a whole circle, and I like to stand in the middle of the circle. And I'll call one of the children's name. If I called my name, Jessica, I would duck. That child that you called ducks. The children on either side clap towards the child. It's like the gun, but we're not using guns because I'm pacifist. So they clap towards each other. Whoever either goes down or claps last is now in the middle of the circle, and they have to call out a new game. There's another variation where the kids get kicked out. I don't like that one as much because when that happens, then there's this huge sense of failure. I like it where, and they don't learn each other's names as well. That's like the important thing. You want them to learn each other's names. If they have failed at doing that quickly, they go to the center. Now they have to say somebody else's name. It reinforces names to them. They get better at it. And then they'll move to a different place in the circle. So next time they're called, it won't be the same people next to them. They learn their names a lot faster. So I say Jessica, Jessica ducks. The people on either side clap. Whoever claps last has to go into the center. Yeah, it's a super fun game. That's the kind of game that you want where people are working together, they're doing things together to create this cohesion. Warm-ups, I feel like warm-ups are super important for getting people towards the focus. So if it's a yes and class, bonding games, you can kind of do any bonding game. And it doesn't have to work for the focus. Once you start to warm-ups, you want to start moving towards your focus. So if I'm doing a yes and class, I might start with something like sound ball. Sound ball, I have a pretend ball. It's not real, it's pretend. And I make a noise while throwing it to somebody. Boo, 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 boo. They catch it with that same noise. Boo, 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 boo. And then throw it to somebody else with a different noise. Whoosha! That person catches it. Whoosha! You keep going around the circle. Super fun. If you're doing this on Zoom, the only difference is that when you throw it, you say somebody's name and then you throw it. So it would be like, Ashley, boo, 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 boo. She would catch it, boo, 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 boo. And then she would say, Tommy, busha. Tommy would say, busha, like that. So you just put that in there if it's a Zoom game. I feel like for warm-ups, there are some important ones. You want to warm up the brain. So verbal warm-ups is really good. Thinking warm-ups where they have to think about stuff. You want to warm up the body, get their actual physical body moving and stretching so that they can perform better. You want to do energy warm-ups, things to get the energy up. The kids love energy warm-ups. There's usually some amount of chase involved or some ball, like there's a tiny bit of like competition stuff usually in the energy to get that like up and excited. And then the fourth one is story. Once you've already covered story in class, if you're wanting to make sure that they retain that, there are story warm-ups that you can do that are super fun. After warm-ups, you got them loose, you got them warm, they're ready to go, their brains are starting to focus on the skill that you're wanting them to focus on. Then you go into the exercise. The exercise is like the meat of the games, the meat of the class. This is the real thing where you're teaching the skill, the core skill that you want to teach. If I want to teach being present, I might do a game called 5 Things. So I turn to the person next to them and I say, give me 5 flavors of jelly beans. And then they name them one after the other. So cinnamon fire, grape, orange juice, Catalina, far away. Now you'll notice that 2 of those were not actual jelly bean flavors. Oh, I'm sorry. When we finish, as we're doing it, I'll say, what was the first one? Bubble gum. And everybody goes 1. Then I'll say the second one, grape. Everybody goes 2. The third one, everybody says 3. Till you get to the end, everybody says 5. 5 things. Like that. Makes it more fun. These little chants make your exercises more enjoyable, and they give the children something to be successful at, even if they didn't feel successful in the game, right? So if they couldn't come up with 5 things, they can do the chant. That keeps them feeling successful. So with 5 things, it doesn't matter if they're all correct. It just matters that you said 5 things, right? Get them out there. So that's an exercise. There's a bunch of different exercises that you can do for each of them. I have many of them in my book, Conducting Chaos, Teaching Improv to Children and Teens. After the exercises where you've taught them the core skill, now it's time for the performance games. The performance games are where they get to show off the new skill that you have taught them. And it's usually where the kids have a lot of fun. This is them getting to look really good in front of other people. Kids don't always get to look really good in front of other people, so this is pretty nice for them. And even though it's not a showcase, they're just doing it for their peers, it can be super fun for them to do. So a performance game might be something like, if your whole class is about sharing control, then maybe you're doing moving bodies, where one person is completely still but talking. I am saying all the words in this scene because I am a character in this scene and I'm super good at it. And another person is moving that person's body, being careful to make sure that everybody is appropriate and gets the consent that they need. But they're moving that person's body so that then that person has to justify it. Like, if I'm a hat salesman, I might be like, and I was moved to this position, I might be like, oh, look at this lovely hat. It is a fedora. And then I have to justify that. So that's the performance game for them to actually do something that works together. They also have scenes. The important thing to remember here, you've got bonding or name games, warm-ups, exercises, performance games. You don't have to do those exactly. You get to make up whatever works for your class. But here's the thing that I want you to take away from this is it's a step system. You don't go straight to the skill. You help them get to the skill by giving them 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, so they can work their way up to being awesome at the skill that you are trying to teach. And that is how you create the classy curricula for a class. That's one class. Obviously, if you're doing a whole, a whole series, then you'll need to string those together. I might talk about that more later. Would you like me to? If you do, leave a message in the comments, or if you would like a different kind, if you have a specific topic that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. Let me know in the comments and I will get to it for you. I'm going to do 10 of these all together, so there's plenty of room for me to do more. Again, my book is Conducting Chaos, Teaching Improv to Children and Teens. It is on Amazon and at independent booksellers. Thank you so much. And let me know if you need anything at all. My name's Jessica. This is Teaching Improv to Children and Teens.